It was the evening of the 22nd of June, 2002, when Daniel saw Amy for the first time and instantly felt a strong attraction for her. Amy had moved in next door with her parents. Daniel was 12 years old, and Amy was 2 years older than him. Daniel thought she was the most beautiful girl he had ever laid his eyes upon. Every night at 10 o'clock, Daniel would turn off his lights and sit by his windows to admire her. She had a hobby of acting, and she would practice her script in front of her mirror in her room, straight across from Daniel's room. Daniel was absolutely in love. He would watch her whenever he had the chance. He wanted to be friends with her, and he wanted to talk to her, but how would he do it? It was on his 13th birthday that he thought of the perfect idea. He would invite her to his party. That evening, while all the other kids from the block were playing in the yard, Daniel was desperately waiting for when Amy would come. "Happy birthday, Daniel. This is for you. I made it myself. Baking is a hobby of mine." "Wow, it looks really nice, but I thought acting was your hobby." "Hey, don't underestimate cooking, okay? If you married me, I'd be the perfect wife. I can entertain you with my acting and content you with my cooking." "True, but I'm not into older women." Despite the age gap, Daniel and Amy had a great time that day. And it was ever since then that they became good friends and often hung out. Over the days, Daniel came to know Amy didn't really get along well with her parents. They were against her dreams of becoming an actress. It was just days before one of Amy's school plays that her parents refused to buy her the dress she needed as a costume. Seeing Amy so upset, Daniel broke into his piggy bank, bought the dress himself, and anonymously gifted it to Amy on her porch. To Amy, who is this from? Seeing Amy rush into her room and open the box, excited and happy to see the dress, gave Daniel a strange satisfaction. The years were going by fine for Daniel, as he dreamed of a day they would be together. But it wasn't quite the same for Amy. Her relationship with her parents only worsened, and as soon as she turned 18, she decided she would move out and go to Chicago to seek her acting career. "I'm gonna miss you, Daniel. You're not coming back, are you?" "Of course I'll come back. I can't live without my hubby." After Amy left, Daniel was heartbroken. He missed Amy so much, and deep down inside, he realized he couldn't be happy without her. All this time, he had only been happy when he was with her. But Daniel was only 16, and there was nothing he could really do about it. While Amy didn't keep in touch with her parents, Daniel kept in touch with her through BII book, where they spoke now and then. In the coming years, Amy pursued her career while Daniel completed his studies. Five years later, Daniel decided to move to Chicago as well. And to quite his luck, rented a vacant apartment opposite to Amy. But now it seemed Amy didn't recognize Daniel anymore. He was now much taller than her, and no longer that teenage boy. It was the first evening when Amy returned home from work that Daniel too stepped out looking at her. "New neighbor?" she said, passing him a glance, when she suddenly froze. "Do I know you? You seem familiar." Daniel smirked. A perfect wife doesn't fail to recognize her husband. "Daniel? You? You're here? I haven't seen you in years." And so, Daniel and Amy's friendship took a new beginning. Daniel was now hoping he would have lots of time to spend with her. And in the next few days, he searched for every opportunity to hang out again. But it seemed Amy was quite busy in her life. But it was one night that Daniel heard a sudden knock on his door. He was surprised to see Amy, and in her hands a bowl of popcorn. "I got snacks. Want to watch a movie?" "Sure, come on in." As Amy set everything up and sat down, Daniel watched her, sensing something wasn't right. She looked really low. "Where were you after that day? It's like you vanished. I thought maybe you would show me around town." "Yeah, sure, maybe this weekend." "Is everything okay? You look a little down." "It's nothing, just my boyfriend. Come on, let's watch the movie." Daniel fell quiet as the words slipped Amy's lips. Boyfriend? She was taken? Daniel had never felt this heartbroken before. And now it seemed there was truly nothing he could do about it. After the movie, Amy left feeling a little better. But Daniel lay in bed, shattered, thinking about her. And the following morning, when he was leaving for work, he met the last person he wanted to meet. Amy's boyfriend. He was a bit shorter than Daniel, but he was quite built up and broad. "Hey, you're Amy's hubby, right? I'm her boyfriend, Anthony." Daniel smiled. "Yes, I'm Daniel." Anthony smirked, taking a glance at Daniel. He was skinny and lanky. "You know, when Amy first told me about you, I was getting quite insecure. But I think we'll be fine." He chuckled. Daniel nodded. "I should get going. It was nice meeting you." As Daniel walked off, Anthony stepped back into the apartment to find Amy ready to head out. "You didn't tell me your hubby is such a bodybuilder, then we wouldn't have had all these issues." "Come on, Anthony, don't be like that. He's a nice guy." "Be like what? I was just being honest." Anthony was an uprising football player, and he was very dedicated to his career. Amy met him at a college game where Anthony had come to compete from a rival university. They bumped into each other on the court that day and felt an instant connection. They started dating and had been so for a few months now. Over the next couple of weeks, Daniel watched Anthony come to Amy's place. And sometimes he noticed Amy didn't come home and probably spent the night at his place. From whatever he had heard and seen about Anthony, he didn't like him at all. Anthony didn't deserve a girl like Amy. It was late one night, around 11 p.m., that Daniel heard the sound of Amy's keys rustling and her door heavily shut close. Daniel thought she wouldn't be home tonight. He went out and walked to her door when he suddenly heard a faint cry. "Amy, is everything all right?" Daniel asked, knocking on her door. In a while, Amy opened the door, her eyes red and teary. "Daniel, he cheated on me." After work, Amy had gone to Anthony's apartment to surprise him. But when she got there, she was devastated to see Anthony had been with another girl. "I can't believe you, Anthony." "Amy, wait." "Amy, listen to me." "No, leave me alone." I trusted him, but it's like all this fame and money has made him lose his mind. "Amy, isn't it better that you know what he's really like? If you discovered this after your relationship with him got serious, there would have been no way out of it. But now you can move on." "You're right. Don't you deserve to be with someone better? Someone who cares for you?" Daniel tried to console Amy, but she just couldn't stop crying. "Amy, you know I can't see my wifey crying like that. Come on, let's watch a movie." "Okay, I'll get some popcorn, and you choose the movie, alright?" Daniel got up and went to the kitchen when he suddenly heard a knock on her door. he opened up to see Anthony. "You have some nerve coming here after what you did. I know she's upset with me, and I know what you're probably thinking of me, but I made a mistake. Let me talk to her." "She doesn't want..." All of a sudden, Daniel heard Amy behind him. "Daniel, it's okay. Give us some privacy." Daniel looked at Amy for a while before he quietly took leave. Unable to express how much his heart ached when he saw Amy invite Anthony inside and shut the door behind him. It was soon that Daniel found out they had gotten back together. He felt so angered. Why would Amy take someone like him back after what he did? Quite upset, he decided to talk to Amy about it. "Amy, I know you love him, but he's not the right guy for you. I know Daniel. He has his issues, but deep down inside, he's not that bad of a person." Realizing there was no use of speaking to Amy about this, Daniel let it be. She was blinded in her love for him. She was willing to accept his flaws. Since Amy had patched up with Anthony, their relationship was going rather well. But as for Daniel, he continued to suffer in heartbreak. Until one afternoon, he got a visit from Amy again, and this time in her hands a cake. "Happy birthday." "I almost forgot, but you remembered?" "How could I forget my hubby's birthday? Those were the best moments of my life." "Thanks, wifey." For some time now, Anthony was quite occupied with preparing for an upcoming game, so Amy didn't get much time to spend with him. She too was focused on her work and giving her auditions, and the days were going by as usual. But it was a few days later, while she was at home one evening, she was shocked hearing the news. 2 BII League football players were caught taking substance to enhance performance just a day before the final games in a health examination. However, when they were questioned, the players accused their fellow teammate, Anthony Collins, of intentionally doing this to them in order to sabotage their careers. Though Anthony Collins denies the allegations, authorities have performed tests on him and have found traces of similar substance present in him. With Anthony Collins now arrested and in custody, it seems like the game has been forfeited. Crowds of people are now highly criticizing Collins, but he chooses to remain silent. BII News, Chicago. Amy froze upon seeing the news. She immediately tried to call up Anthony, but he didn't pick up. In a panic, she went over to Daniel's place. "Daniel, did you see the news? What happened to Anthony? His career is finished." "I saw, but I'm not quite surprised." "No, Daniel, it doesn't make any sense. Why would he do something like that? He was trying his best for this game. What's going to happen now? They took him into custody." "Don't worry, everything will be fine." After talking for a while, Amy returned to her apartment, quite upset and shocked by it all. But deep down inside, Daniel was a little happy. Perhaps now she would understand. But it was later that night, Daniel heard a loud banging sound from out in the hallway. He looked out his peephole to see it was Anthony pounding on Amy's door. They let him go? What was he here for? When Amy opened the door, she was surprised herself. Anthony started shouting at her. "You did this to me. You ruined my career, my life. What are you talking about? You only look innocent, but you're a..." As soon as Daniel saw Anthony raise his fist to hit Amy, he opened the door and went to stop him. But instead, in the hustle, Anthony pushed him and threw him to the ground. Amy cried out as Anthony was about to fight him. "Anthony, stop!" But Anthony was furious. However, before he could get a hold of Daniel, police stormed into the apartment and had him in handcuffs. Hearing the commotion, one of their neighbors had called the cops. It was almost 2 a.m. that night when the police took Anthony away. Amy sat down on her sofa, absolutely traumatized by what happened. She looked at Daniel beside her. "I'm sorry. You were right. I should have listened to you. He's not the right person for me." "You don't have to say sorry. You know I'm always there for you." After Amy and Anthony got back together, Daniel was devastated. Every time he saw them together, it filled him with rage, and it came to the point where he had to do something. It was 2 nights before Anthony's game that Daniel came up with the perfect plan. He would send him a gift. Daniel took the cake that Amy had made for him on his birthday to a baker's and had it redecorated saying "Good luck," before he dropped it off to Anthony's place. A cake. It must be from Amy. That night, Anthony and 2 of his teammates had the cake, not knowing what Daniel had mixed inside of it. The perfect concoction that not only ruined his life, but got him out of Amy's life. Now, Daniel could finally be with her. "I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Good night, Daniel." I had to do what I had to do to save my wife. Click on the subscribe button and check out more awesome videos on our channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon because you know it's interesting.